After years of serving high-risk warrants, transporting fugitives, and guarding federal witnesses, I thought retiring to a quiet cul-de-sac in Pine Brook Estates would be the breather I'd earned. I wasn't exactly expecting total serenity, but I definitely wasn't prepared for Karen Dempsey, the HOA president who acted more like a dictator than a neighbor. I'd only been living in the neighborhood for 3 weeks when the first letter arrived. Notice of noncompliance. HOA action required. Property at 221 Sycamore Lane is found in violation of Section 3.4.1 regarding unauthorized outbuildings. The shed located in the northeast quadrant of the backyard is in violation of neighborhood aesthetic regulations. It must be removed within 10 days or the HOA will initiate corrective action, including possible seizure and removal. Karen Dempsey, HOA president. I chuckled when I read it. The offending structure was a small, well-maintained storage shed, purchased from a national retailer, built to code, and fully within my property line. Better still, it had been approved by the county zoning office. But Karen, armed with a copy of the HOA handbook and the power trip of a lifetime, apparently had other ideas. I reached out politely via email, explaining that the shed was compliant with municipal codes and posed no nuisance. She replied, "I don't care about the county. I care about our community's standards. If the shed is not gone in 10 days, we'll take steps to have it removed. HOA has legal authority." Now, I'm not one to wave my badge around to get my way, but when someone threatens to seize my legally owned property, that's when the U.S. Marshal Service instincts kick in. I sent her a calm but direct response. "Karen, please be advised that the HOA does not have unilateral authority to enter private property and remove legally compliant structures. I strongly recommend reviewing state property law before escalating this further. Sincerely, Deputy Marshal Richard Galloway, retired." She never replied, but she didn't back off either. That weekend, I caught 2 HOA-hired contractors in my backyard, measuring the shed. "Can I help you?" I asked, stepping out with my badge still clipped to my belt, a habit I hadn't broken since retirement. One of them stammered, Karen said this was unauthorized and we're supposed to prep for removal." I showed them my ID. "United States Marshal Service, that shed is legal and this is private property. You're trespassing. Leave now, or I'll call the sheriff and file charges." They backed out fast. That same night, I drafted a formal cease and desist letter and sent it via certified mail to the HOA. I also attached the relevant statutes: trespassing, unlawful seizure, and civil liability for damages. And just to cover all bases, I dropped a call to a friend of mine, still active duty with the county prosecutor's office. A few days later, I received a second letter, this time far more cordial. "Mr. Galloway, upon further review, the HOA will not pursue further action regarding your shed. We appreciate your commitment to community standards and consider this matter closed." Karen Dempsey. Translation: "You scared us straight, but it didn't end there. Word got around the neighborhood about what had happened. Other residents, some of whom had quietly been steamrolled by Karen for years, started asking questions. I ended up hosting a small gathering one Saturday where I answered legal questions and explained homeowner rights. A month later, during the HOA's quarterly meeting, Karen announced she was stepping down as president due to personal commitments. I like to think she committed to reading the law for a change. Since then, the shed's still standing, and so is my peace of mind. I tend my backyard garden, drink my coffee in silence, and Diesel, the K9 I adopted after he retired, lounges in the shade without incident. They say you can't outrun bureaucracy, but if you threaten to unlawfully seize a U.S. Marshal's property, you better be prepared for legal pursuit.